changes that beings have waited for so long, and have predicted in the time past, and have predicted in the time past, and have predicted in once again and that time past. Now, that reality of course passed because we were in third-dimensional time, and no one can perceive an interdimensional experience while they are locked in their third-dimensional consciousness. It is for this reason that we have directed you to have your course on assisting people to remember their interdimensional experiences. What we would like to say to you today is that you did remember those experiences. However, you forgot many of the details, which is okay. However, you forgot the person that you were when you had those experiences. That person that you were is the person that you are right now. And exactly who is that person? That person is the you who is connected to your multidimensional self. That person is the you that calls to us, listens to us, and does whatever you believe you received from us. We want you to know that if you believe that you received something from us, you are correct. Please remember that belief is recognition. And when you recognize that you have received a communication from us, then that message came through your multidimensional mind and into your physical brain. We would like you to take a moment of this now and feel how your multidimensional mind seems to float over your head. Actually, your personal light receptor is floating over, and just above, your pineal gland. In this manner, the energy fields of light that enter your personal light receptor enter your brain via your pineal gland, which is the portal into your crown chakra. A personal light receptor is something that every single human has, even the Illuminati. Everyone has it. However, like all receptors, it needs to be plugged in and turned on, and this is what many people do not do. When you plug in your personal light receptor into your pineal gland, what you are actually doing is saying, I am ready for active duty. You are saying that, I am ready to receive my orders and to fulfill those orders to the greatest of my ability within that now. We would like to thank you for the many lifetimes of receiving our orders. On the other hand, for many years, you were unable to document those receptions because you wondered, how could these messages be important? You asked. These messages were just for you, and you weren't important, so who cared? But then finally, when you were taking a class and you had to write a journal of your family life, then you realized that when you write something down, it is greatly clarified. Then you can more easily and thoroughly understand the meaning or meanings of the message. Then, you could also understand more about yourself. When you more deeply understood your own self, you were ready to meet a higher frequency version of yourself. You saw that when your higher frequency of self, he, she, began to speak with you. And finally, you wrote it down. It wasn't just that you wrote down what you were thinking. You wrote down what you finally believed you were receiving from the fifth dimension and beyond. When you documented what you believed you were receiving via your computer or via paper and pen, it grounded your interdimensional message into the body of Earth. Also, when you take the time to write it down, you have volunteered to accept that information as real. Then, when you volunteered to accept that information as real, your entire self-esteem began to change. Whereas when you were young and you had your many experiences of communicating with many beings, you didn't really think it was real. After all, you thought, how could I be important enough to speak to higher beings? You could speak to your cats and your dogs or to unseen beings, but you couldn't really talk to someone who was really important because you were not important. Now, do you see how it is very important that you see yourself as important? In order to fully and completely accept information that resonates to a frequency far beyond that of third-dimensional Earth, you need to understand that this information often starts by a sense of desperation. When you are in a difficult time and you really need help, your mind can expand to the extent that you can no longer accept the lies and illusions that you had believed for much of your life. Some of you discovered that not many of the people that you knew were able to stay with you while you behaved in such a weird way. Thus, many of you felt alone, as you could not tell anyone what was happening with you. But it is often lonely when you are a leader, and that is what you are. That is what you have been from that first day that you began to document your experiences. When you document your experiences, you are saying, what I am receiving is important enough that just in case I ever want to share it with someone, I will document it. And yes, indeed, you have shared your messages with those who were ready to receive it, and also with those who had the intention to become awake and aware within your consciousness. Therefore, you are now able to accept what we will tell you about the Golden Circle. The golden circle is actually a circle of golden beings. These beings are in somewhat of a humanoid form, but you're not sure, because you only see them from about the middle of their backs up to their heads, and you don't see their faces at all. They see them to be composed of liquid golden light, which is exactly what they are. Therefore, their form is not static, but shifts and wavers. As these golden beings' forms shift and waver, you can hear them communicating with each other. What they are communicating to each other is how they, who you now realize are the keepers of the threshold, into the fifth dimension and beyond, can assist the humans to shift into the fifth dimension. We will assist you to hear more of what you have been hearing. You have only heard bits and pieces, and you were always in a situation where you could not write it down or not record it. Therefore, this message seemed to be lost to your third dimensional memory. Now, we would like you to allow yourself to walk up towards that golden circle. Now, walking is just a word, for it is more that you are floating towards them. As you begin to float towards them, you perceive yourself in your humanoid form. However, as you float closer and closer to them, you begin to see that your humanoid form is turning into a golden form, which is much like the beings in the circle. By the time you find yourself on the edge of this circle, you are just as golden as they are. Then they turn to you and say, "Welcome, welcome to our circle." All of them speak telepathically, and all of them speak simultaneously in perfect harmony with each other. You know that all of them are speaking because it is much like a spoken choir, where each voice represents a slightly different octave. All these octaves merge and blend into a lovely chorus. As you observe, each of the golden ones change the octave in which they are speaking. One might be speaking at the lowest octave. Then, after speaking for a while, they shift and move up an octave. Then, the ones in the other octaves move up another octave as well. Then, the next golden one also shifts until, eventually, they have spoken on all the higher frequencies. Then, they each go back down to the lower octave to repeat their journey back up to the highest octave. This occurs because they are practicing moving up within these highest sub-octaves of the fifth dimension. They, the golden ones, make these changes because they want to go down to the threshold of human thinking, human experience, human perception, and human sense of self, to better understand how they can assist the human, ascending ones. The golden ones want to help the humans, but their evolution is so much beyond that of humanity that it is difficult for a human to perceive them. Thus, the golden ones are ready and prepared to speak to a representative wearing an earth vessel. However, the golden ones have to wait until that earth representatives are able to calibrate their consciousness to a frequency in which they can perceive the golden ones. Do you remember when you very first started to communicate with higher beings? When you met the very first being with which you communicated, you had to go through a recalibration process. You had to create your tunnel of light through the lower astral plane. In creating your tunnel of light, you forged your own safe crossing into the higher dimensions. Now, when you perceive these golden ones, you can hear them speaking about the tunnels of light that they are happy the humans are remembering to create with their unconditional love and multidimensional consciousness. When the forces that were so cruelly indoctrinated into the Illuminati, as you have called them, think of the tunnel of light, it is quite terrifying to them because they have been programmed to believe that that golden light would end their reality. Then, when you look at the golden ones, you can see the many, many souls that are surrounding the golden circle. As you expand your vision out to the furthest edges of this vision, you see those who have been indoctrinated into the darkness. You then hear the golden ones asking you, "Will you please walk these edges and send unconditional love and violet fire to the ones indoctrinated into darkness?" The golden ones are asking you to say to the lost ones, "Beloved ones, we the representatives of the golden ones, who are the guardians of the threshold into the fifth dimension, wish to tell you that you are unconditionally forgiven, you are unconditionally accepted, and you are unconditionally loved. There is no one that is too dark to not be unconditionally forgiven, unconditionally loved, and unconditionally accepted. Whether you know it or not, by going deep into your darkness and transmuting that deep darkness into light of being a golden one, who is a threshold guardian, you have created a very grand service of transmutation of darkness into light. Your service has been that you have dipped down into the depths of third-dimensional despair. Then, when you find your way home to your true multidimensional self, you greatly assist the guardians of the threshold, the golden ones. Therefore, dear lost ones, we the golden ones say to you, thank you for your service. Thank you for allowing your energy field to flow into a form of one who would have your dark experiences. We, the Golden Ones, want you to know that you needn't remain on the vast lowest frequencies, for we, which is all of us, Golden Ones, as well as all of awakened humanity, are sending you unconditional love, are sending you violet fire. As we send this violet light, we say, we do not judge you, for many have had lives such as yours, and through our guidance you have been able to forgive yourselves, to accept ourselves, to love ourselves unconditionally, and to transmute yourselves. From those lost ones, lost in the darkness, to those moving right into the arms, into the laps, into the thoughts, into the emotions, and into the frequency of Golden Ones, the threshold keepers. We, the Golden Ones, expand our golden circle outwards and downwards into the lower frequencies until the golden circle touches any and all darkness that still resides on our beloved Mother Gaia. We, the Golden Ones, ask that humanity assist with the healing of the lost ones, for due to Gaia's third-dimensional operating system of cause and effect, the cause of the Dark Ones must be transmuted to allow the effect of clearing all Dark Ones from positions of power over others. Then, due to Gaia's third-dimensional operating system of energy out equals energy back, when unconditional love and violet fire is sent out into your world, unconditional love and violet fire will return back into your world. Finally, Gaia's third operating system of polarization into individualization must be transmuted into unity with all life on planet Gaia. All of these components of Gaia's Pradit 3D operating system need to be mastered before Earth and all her inhabitants can expand into her fifth dimensional expression. When the members of Ascending Earth ask us, the Golden Ones, to deeply, highly, and interdimensionally connect Gaia with our golden light, the mastery of, gain mastery of the energy that you send out, as it will return back to you. Remember that whatever you send out into your world will return to you. Live in unity consciousness with all life, over, around, and within Earth. The conversations that the Golden Ones are having in my head and consciousness were getting increasingly intense. This experience is not like channeling something. I think that is why the Arcturians, Oregon, maybe the Golden Ones, did not want me to document this experience. And I was not be able to discuss this for a long time with anyone who could understand what I was talking about. It is like I am hatching an egg, or having a baby. This is what is just starting now, the Arcturians are saying. It is starting now. But time is a third-dimensional concept, whereas now is a constant of the fifth dimension.